Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. Men wanting to have children. And this podcast is sponsored by a young man, Gabriel Torres. And, his basic question was, with all the issues with marriage out here, what if you still a man who wants to have children? I'm going to tell you what, usually I have a pretty strong opinion on a particular subject. I'm going to tell you what, that's a tough one right there. That's a tough one. Now, I know many guys out here don't want to deal with marriage and all of that. And really, the social environment really doesn't help a man for marriage. Because you can get married and then everything you work for because of a woman getting like bored or tired or whatever, you could lose everything you work for materially. Right? So it's like, it's hard. If you notice, I don't really promote marriage on this channel. I'm not against it, but I can't in all conscience tell a guy to get married, especially when I'm not married myself. I can't say, hey, marriage is such a great thing. Shoot, too many men, as I've mentioned before, I've been married, but I ain't get screwed over by the system, but most guys can't say that. You got guys losing half their stuff, going from houses to living in, studio or something with an air mattress, and I don't say that to be funny. Some guys get messed up. They miss one child support payment because, they got laid off of a job or something like that. And shoot, some places they could face prison. So it's hard to tell a man to get married. But despite all of that, and despite even the problems that men might have with women, a lot of guys still want to pass their legacy on. Contrary to popular belief, a lot of guys want to be fathers. They want to pass that legacy on. I've met stone cold players who's, wish they had a kid or something. Like guys with multiple women, they is about as far from getting married as possible. But I've known some guys that say, it would have been nice to have like a child or something. Every man wants to kind of have his legacy, like look at himself, have a little bruiser on his lap or something. Or for some dudes, some dudes, they don't mind having baby girl. That little baby girl. In fact, I've known some of the toughest, meanest, deadliest men I've ever met in life, man. They get that baby girl and they just a totally different person. Same dude who, like, can kill you about 5 different ways and stuff, have no problem with tea time with baby girl. So many of men want children, but the marriage thing. And then if somebody say, well, you can still have kids out here, as a lot of dudes do anyway. A whole gang of kids, but they can't take care of them, because if you want kids, a responsible man wants to be able to take care of them too. All right? So it's like, man, you know what? I really can't. I know people look to me or look to get a perspective, but that's tough. Now, all I can say right now is, if you really want a child, you might have to really think about that marriage thing, or even, I don't know, some dudes in America, especially, it's mostly, people in the United States, dudes in the United States listening, man. Honestly, you might have to go overseas, find a woman from a culture that values like family like that. You could always look up here, find the right woman, but that's tough for anybody, really, even players, to find the right woman to build with on that level, right? And to think, oh, well, she just ain't in it for one thing. Right? And then it's like, I know some dudes who like purposely, these dudes putting babies all over the place. There's some dudes, they'll go to a woman and say, look, you had this baby, I'll give you child support and all that stuff. Right? Because it's always, I'm going to tell you what, it's usually, I'm going to say, often it is some issue. Now, sometimes people can be cool with it, But, and that actually is ironic. I actually know women who just wanted a child. They just get the right person. And just to be clear, I know some women get on. I know those like low class women. No, I've known some professional women. They just wanted that baby. In fact, with some of these professional women, shoot, half the time the father ain't around because it was a sperm donor. Well, I ain't gonna say half the time, but it's more common than people realize. Even if you consider the sperm donor somebody you actually had sex with. In fact, not to turn this into something about women, but I've actually known of women. I'll say known of women, clear that up for any legal reasons, who would have a baby with a guy and then tell the guy he wasn't the father. Shit, you can watch paternity court to say that just because they wanted the baby but didn't want the man in their lives. But men, see, it's different for men. It's different for a real man. Because a real man, well, he wants that legacy, but he also wants that child in his boundary, right? So it's hard for a man just to say, oh, okay, you just had this baby, I'll take care of it. Because still the society still favors the woman if she wants to change up something, right? So, it's kind of messed up, man. It's kind of messed up. I mean, the only thing that could happen, I would say, though, I will say this. If a man just, however he want to do it, whether he wants to marry a woman or maybe make an arrangement with a woman, the key thing to understand is, well, one, the man's going to have to be smart, period. If he wants children, that's when men have to really think about who they're dealing with when they want a child. Whether they married or whether they just wanted a co-parent arrangement with a woman, which, man, yeah, I'm funny about that too if they not married first. I'm funny about that because I've seen situations where it looked like that would work and it didn't. Because you're still coming down to the woman deciding she want to change up. So it's kind of messed up, man. It really isn't a good answer for that. And it's one of those things, like, I can't say, okay, do this, but then I can think about 15 ways that ain't gonna work. Like, first of all, if you getting married, you want kids and stuff, and you think, well, maybe I'm married, that's the worst thing you can do. A man could do. Worst thing. If you ain't feeling that woman ain't an asset to you in other areas of your life, don't be getting with somebody just to have a baby, right? Or just to get your legacy passed. I know you want to, but you better look at the totality of it. Because like I said, stuff ain't working otherwise. The whole legal system favors the woman, right? The whole legal system favors the woman. And then, and that's especially the case if you ain't married to her. Because I can think of one particular instance now where the thing wasn't working the way it was supposed to work. So, yeah, I'm going to just tell you what. Yeah. Yeah, that's just jacked up. That's one of those things. I know there's some things that affects everybody, but that's like dudes who sincerely want to be fathers. I don't know what to tell you. You know what? It would have the whole social system would have to change fundamentally. It would have to change. It would have to change. That's how deep it is. That's how, it's because you can want a child, be sincere, you want to be a father, but the opportunity, the possibility that you screwed over by that is great. The possibility that you are screwed over by that is so great. Yeah, you know what? I'd say it like this. At the time now, even though marriage is jacked up, that's still the best option if you try and be a father. But then, there's the other problems that come with that. So there's no perfect, Rom can't give a perfect answer on that, or at least something I could stand on. There's so many variables there. So anyway, I wanted to share that. It's something to think about. It's a deep, I don't know if there's a right or wrong or whatever. We could say ideal. But that's just ideal. Like realistically, it's so much. Like if I ain't already have sons or something, and I wanted sons, I'd be like, there's a lot to this just for that. You know? So anyway, wanted to share all that. Get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.